this nut, it's got to come off, and then I'll show you what happens then. Okay, got the nut off, and you pull this out. This little end connects with a stopper. Probably better to put it back in for a second. Push it down where the stopper is up. Reach up above the sink, grab the stopper with one hand, and then pull this out. Then you can lift the stopper right out. If you want to look at this, this is really gross. A lot of hair on this thing right here. That's what's stopping it up.
That is sick.
Let's have a look down the drain now. You should be able to see pretty well.
Oh my gosh.
See how clogged it is down there. We're going to clean all that mess out. Okay, the easiest way to clean that out, now that you got a hole in the top, the stopper's gone, if you can see. And take something, a paper towel, wrap it around something that's long enough, and just shove it down in there. Poke it through, and it'll help clean it out. There we go, it plugs right into the, you can see that, that's nice and pretty, isn't it? Take your needle nose pliers and just pull anything else you can get out of the thing down. Now this is pretty common, it's just hair and soap. It just gets kind of gross looking over a period of time. So you take your needle nose, clean the rest of this thing off. You get it all cleaned off, it's a good idea to take it somewhere and wash it. Might as well get it all off, get it all off there. Okay. Okay. Got it all cleaned out. Guess this looks a lot different now, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. First thing to do is put the trap back together. Start with the nut on the bottom, the wet nut, because the one on top's got a little room to play. The one on the bottom doesn't. So you want to make sure it's tight. That's the one that's going to have water on it all the time. Just get it tight on this. Once again, these PVC traps, hand tight plus just a little is all you need. I always like this. Okay, tighten the top one now. Okay, sometimes a little hard to get started, but if you just start it backwards right off the bat, it'll usually work. Okay, we got them all on there, got them snugged up. I'm going to go ahead and give them just a snug with the channel locks. After we got them good and hand tight. I'll tell you how you can know they're tight enough if they don't leak. As long as they don't leak, you're in good shape. So, got the piping put back together. The last step in the process is to put the stopper back in. The best way to do this, if you can notice this stopper, it's got a kind of an offset on it. Basically, this part goes into the hole. If you turn it this way, it'll raise and allow it to lower, but it really won't engage it. So you want to make sure that when you put your stopper in, this part is towards the back so that this will go in the hole and be able to activate it like that. So always reach up, put this in with the offset part towards the back. Then you should be able to put your trip lever in, and you're going to kind of point it downward so it'll engage the hole. And then before you tighten it up really tight, just take a look and make sure it's working. And it is. So the next trick, the only real trick here, is to make sure this is just tight enough to seal, but if you make it too tight, it'll be real hard to operate this lever. It's got a little gasket in there. I'm going to make sure that gasket doesn't fall out. And once again, this is just a little tight just so it doesn't leak, but you still can move it up and down. And you can look up top here now. You'll see that it's working. You raise the lever, it closes it. Lower the lever, it opens it. So I like to test with a full bowl, let it drain out. But first we'll just make sure it's draining right to begin with it open. Fill up underneath here real good and make sure that there's no water leaking out the trap or anywhere else. let us run it. Go ahead and let it fill up. It's a really good idea to do this. Let it fill up to the overflow, which is up here. Then you got a whole full bowl. When it drains out, it's going to be as much pressure as it'll ever have on it, as much water as it will ever have on it. If it doesn't leak now, then you know you got a good connection. Okay, it's full now. Just quickly look underneath, make sure there are no leaks. Pay careful attention to the little nut at the top where you put the trip lever for the stopper end. That's a pretty leak prone area. And these other nuts here, it looks good. You can hear that noise, that means it is draining completely. Have a look, make sure I'm not bluffing. Definitely drain. Okay, that's how to unstop a laboratory sink bowl. That was pretty nasty looking, but it took probably about 10 minutes to do that. You call a plumber out, you're looking at probably 100 to 150 bucks minimum. So it's definitely a pretty simple repair. The only thing you might have different would be you might have metal tubing underneath there instead of plastic. If you do, I'd recommend going back and putting plastic in. This stuff will last years and years and years and years, and it's just really easy to work with. Any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever's going to have it. So, hope this has been helpful. My name again is Brian Stevens. You can check me out on my website at www.basicplumbingrepair.com, where you can sign up for a free mini course on how to do your own plumbing. If you want to check out my blog, just go to www.basicplumbingrepair.com/blog. See you next time.